Chris Mannix from Yahoo Sports covering the NBA there in Cleveland last night and courtside to that injury with Gordon Hayward. What did you see on that play, Chris?
Well, I mean, Dan, it was really as significant, severe an injury as I've ever seen in person. Up until that point, there was a lot of energy in the building. I mean, Kyrie Irving was getting booed from introductions to every time he touched the ball. There was a sort of a visceral feeling there towards Irving at that moment. I mean, everyone just completely, altered their perspective there. It's hard to put into words what it was. I mean, I just looked at it, Dan, and for a while I wasn't sure what I was looking at. It was almost like my eyes were deceiving me. And then when you take a couple of minutes to look back, and it just was just grotesque to look at.
All right, let's look at this now as we move forward. The Celtics have their home opener tonight against Milwaukee, but handicap the Eastern Conference now.
Well, I mean, you got to put Cleveland in the pole position at the moment, and I'll be interested to see what happens when they figure out what's going on with Hayward. I mean, I was told by some team officials last night that were involved in looking at Hayward that he may have avoided something catastrophic, and they were optimistic that there might be a possibility he could return at some point this season. As crazy as it sounds, now, I'm not banking on that. And even if he was able to come back, a la Paul George from a couple of years ago, you can't expect him to be anywhere near 100%. But putting that aside, I think Cleveland is number one. And I look at Washington right now as number two. I mean, the Wizards had a very good preseason in terms of what their starters were able to do. I think their bench will be better because you'll see one or more of their starters on that second unit more consistently, which was their problem last year. I like Washington, too. And then you're looking at Boston, Toronto, maybe fighting for that third and fourth spot. I don't think Boston can fall any further than fourth. I like their young players. Jaylen Brown is really good. Jason Tatum is going to be really good, I think, by midseason and beyond. And the Eastern Conference is just god-awful. So I think Boston can still slide into that top 4 or 5 at the end of the season.
Third best team in the NBA is who?
Third best team. Right now, I'd probably say San Antonio. I am concerned with Kawhi Leonard's quad injury and the fact that we're not getting any kind of timetable on his return, and the fact that it's not his first quad injury in that area. But if they're healthy in the first few weeks, month of the season, the one thing they have going for them, Dan, is continuity, and that's important to get an early jumpstart in the season. The Rockets won last night. And they should take a lot of pride in going to Golden State and getting a win, but they're going to have some bumps and bruises along the way. I mean, incorporating all those new guys, incorporating Chris Paul, that's going to be a challenge with that team. The Spurs at least can bank on the same rotation, the same unit that they've had moving forward. So I think for right now, without knowing how the Rockets and the Thunder come together, I would say San Antonio's at 3.
He's Chris Mannix from Yahoo Sports, NBA analyst, NBA writer. Give me the best case scenario for the Lakers.
I mean, they are so bad that they get to keep their pick if it lands at number 1, and maybe they're not as bad as we think, and they wind up at 6, 7, or 8, and they also keep their pick. I mean, really, you're only looking at the draft pick now, but if it falls between 2 and 5, Boston gets it. So, and the Lakers right now are sitting kind of in that sweet spot. They're probably the 3rd or 4th worst team in the NBA. I mean, maybe because the East has this incredible race for the bottom. I mean, I've never seen. I mean, you saw that fight between like Bobby Portis and his teammate in Chicago.
Yeah.
Mirotic. Like, you almost wonder, like, half-heartedly, like, did the Bulls plan this to like lose a couple more guys so they could be even worse this year and get an even higher draft pick at the end of the year? I mean, from the Bulls to the Knicks to the Nets to the Magic, I mean, on down the list, the Eastern Conference is terrible. So maybe if the Lakers, as they're trying to win, they can be 5th or 6th worst, but it's not going to be pretty. I mean, everybody's excited about Lonzo, okay, but they're going to lose a ton of games.
Could the Lakers make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference?
It's a good question. No, but the fact that we're even considering it is hilarious. I mean, look, I honestly believe, Dan, there's going to be a 47 or 48 win team that doesn't get in the playoffs in the West.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Denver. Maybe it's somebody else. Along the same lines, there might be a 35-win team that gets in the East. I mean, Indiana's sitting there with the possibility of sneaking into the playoffs at 35 wins. And look, it's not going to get much better above them. It could be 37 at the 7th seed, 40 at the 6th seed. It truly is as bad as I have seen the Eastern Conference. So I will say no that the Lakers couldn't make the playoffs in the East, but they'd be in it in March, put it that way.
Joel Embid said the Sixers have to listen to him about restricting his minutes. He said it's bleeping bull bleep. I wish I was playing more minutes. I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready for more, whatever numbers they have. I don't know. I wish I was playing more, but we're going to have to see how that goes. What should the philosophy be with Joel Embid in Philadelphia?
Right. I mean, Joel Embiid needs to calm down a little bit. He's played 31 games in his career in 3 seasons. He's coming off a knee injury that was far more significant than people originally thought. I mean, he had what I believe was arthroscopic surgery before the end of the season, and he was still feeling the effects into training camp. And look, the Sixers just gave him $150 million. Like they're not going to screw around with that. I mean, look, Philadelphia is probably a playoff team this year again because the East is so bad, but. Their game plan is long term. They're, year 3, year 4 of Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Dario Saric, and hopefully Markelle Fultz playing alongside each other. They're going to go months with Joel Embiid on a very significant, I think, minutes restriction, or at least it should be, until he proves that he is 100% healthy.
Chris, thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time. Know that you've been traveling. Thanks for joining us.
You guys, Dan.
All right. Chris Mannix covers the NBA for Yahoo Sports.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.